I guarantee this is what it happened right there. You may have heard other accounts, but that blame it, they off. They off something fierce. So I'm gonna read you what really happened right here. Alright, now, y'all don't get scared, 'cause I gotta put on my spectacles. Well, actually, they're grandma's, but I ain't got none handy, so here we go. It's called "'Twas the Night Afore Christmas." Here it goes. "'Twas the night afore Christmas, and out in the yard there was a chicken pecking on the ground pretty hard. Our stockings was hung at the long branch up high, in hopes that old Sandy Claus just might drop by. The young'uns was snuggled all tight in their beds, knowing if they get up, they was a whooping ahead. I in my long johns and my mule in her jacket was jolted awake by a terrible racket. I ran out the door and into the night with gun in hand ready for a fight. Now I stepped on a duck and he screamed out a quack. And right over yonder, flat on his back, lay old Doc Adams out like a light. I ran over to him and I said, "Doc, you all right?" Not a peep did he utter, that fidgety old scudder. So, to hear if he was breathing, I leaned over close to give him a listen. But I couldn't hear nothing on account of that blind chicken. He opened his eyes and jumped up to his feet, said, "Out of my way," and then he let out a bleat like a sheep. I asked him what for, and he said, "Doesn't matter." It was then I had to run back inside, 'cause I got a weak bladder. When I came back out, I couldn't believe my eyeballs. I said, "What in tarnation is that?" 'Cause I couldn't think of a rhyme for eyeballs. Old Doc hopped up on this sleigh full of toys, pulled by 8 little sheep, making all kinds of noise. I stuck my head in the water trough down real deep. I wasn't sure, but I thought I might still be asleep. Well, that old Sawbones, he spit, whistled, and hollered, and he yelled out their names that was writ on their collars. Now Skeeter, now Elmer, now Jasper and Jethro, on Cletus, on Wilbur, on Moses and Roscoe. They took to pulling that sleigh hard up a hill. When they reached the top, they ran over Granny Steele. She started cussing and shooting at old Doc and his team, and I think she winged him, 'cause he let out a girlish scream. He yelled at those sheep something fierce, I do declare, and all of a sudden, they was flying in the air. They landed on a house a fair piece up the road, and so I jumped on my mule and up the road I goed. We got to the house in about half a minute. I grabbed the front door, pulled, and went in it. Inside, old Doc was working real fast like a bee, putting toys in stockings and up under the tree. And from his hat to his toes. He was dressed all in red. Doc Adams is Santa Claus, I thought in my head. And all of a sudden, when his work was all done, he was up through the chimney like being shot from a gun. He jumped in his sleigh and took off again in flight, hollering, "Merry Christmas to all, and to Festus in the head, you ain't right." Nah, he just couldn't help himself and started that fight, but I just let it go, let it go, let it go, and said, "Well, it's all right." Dad, blame it. So I walked my mule back to my little one-room shack. My heart was so full of joy and goodwill, I stopped on the road and just stood real still, thinking that the reason for Christmas was not just toys and fun. The real reason was because God sent us His Son, born to die on a cross for our sin, born in a stable because there weren't no room at the end. Believe in Him and ask Him into your heart. He'll make you brand new and give you a fresh start. Christmas happened because God loves everyone. You can show your love for Him by telling others about His Son, Jesus. Well, I just want to wish y'all a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. That's my story. Good night.